Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take, the podcast where nerdy brothers get together each and every week to talk about their interests, primarily gaming. But in the last couple of episodes, we've been doing something a bit different, and we actually teased in last week's episode that that might have been a hard one for people even to find in the algorithm. This might be even fucking harder and a bit weirder. Yeah, my name is Kris. I'm joined once again by my brother Eric.
Hello.
And we've recorded this ahead of time, but by the time this is out, I will have just come back from Universal in Orlando and their new theme park, Epic Universe. And it got me thinking about theme parks and the role of theme parks and the way in which they try and immerse people into their worlds. They try to create experiences that are supposed to be immersive, very much like video games. They are an interactive and fun experience, often very thrilling, but also like I'm always impressed by the actual theming of it, like the amazing engineering that goes into the creation of like the animatronics and the sets basically that you're on and all of that kind of stuff. And it got me thinking, and I pitched this to Eric a while back. What would your dream theme park look like? Now, we have no power to actually make these theme parks a
No.
reality. This
Brutal.
is purely fantasy talk, and we'd love to hear from you guys too. If it basically join us in this fantasy pitch, whether there's whichever one of our theme parks that you really want to add to, feel free to add to them if you want. Or you're going, oh, well, you could add this experience, you could add that experience, maybe you could put something like this in here, or what if you did this differently, like whatever it is. Or if you want to pitch an entirely different theme park of your own. Obviously, all you have to do is choose a theme, first of all, for it to fall within, and then what would that theme park look like? And you can go as detailed or as vague as you want. We do want to hear from you guys, and we hope that you enjoy listening to our pitches for these fantasy theme parks that will never exist, but what if they did? Let's dream a little bit. Wouldn't it be fun to go and experience these lands? So if you're watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoy this weird episode from the Brothers Take, then do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content. And to those of you listening to the audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at the Brothers Take again to give your take on what a dream theme park would look like. But without further ado, let's get pitching. So Eric,
Mm-hmm.
just to start, I'm really curious. What theme
No,
did
no,
you
no, no,
go
no,
for?
no. No. We'll start with you, Chris. No, let's start with you, man. Just,
Well, my theme is, and I was very inspired, obviously, by um, our love of video games.
mm-hmm.
Uh, one of the lands in the new Epic Universe, which I will have been to by the time this is out, is Super Nintendo World,
Okay.
which is just a land. And I
Yeah.
was like, but what if there was like a whole world of that? Like an entire theme park. So obviously Universal is a lot of Universal properties and then other movies that come under that. Disney is obviously all Disney properties. I was like, what if there was a whole video game land, right? But you'd have to
Mm.
fall under one of the themes. And being a sort of like, I mean, obviously we love games from all consoles, but being a lifelong PlayStation fan,
Mm.
my theme park is PlayStation World.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Don't
So,
worry. Mine is not that.
okay, well, what is yours?
I had trouble. So it was only a couple of days ago that I finally come to a conclusion. Not in the I didn't have trouble in trying to come up with one. My trouble was narrowing it down. So
Okay.
like the last Airbender, that kind of world would have been a good one. You would have had the Avatar, well, Airbender world maybe or something. Blah blah blah. Yeah, the four different kingdoms could have been four different parks and stuff like that. And
Cool.
like
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that that would
That's a
have
cool concept.
that would have worked. And there was definitely like a few different ones. Mass Effect maybe as a thing, but the thing that got me was like, all right, we actually need longevity.
Yes, stuff that you'll add to it as well in the future.
Right, like PlayStation World, you can add the new
Yes,
PlayStation exclusives,
new
like
IPs, new
Ghost of
things.
Yotei coming out. You can add that to the park if that was already existed before the game. Blah blah blah.
Yes, yes.
So I was like, okay, so what's something that I can get a lot out of,
Mm-hmm.
There is a fandom,
Yes.
but there will definitely be longevity. There will definitely be new to this.
Yes.
Games Workshop.
Oh shit. Games where so like Warhammer?
Right. So I thought about it. I was like, this is even better. This is even better than just Warhammer. But yes,
Okay.
Warhammer. Because
Yes.
I get the Warhammer 40K stuff. I get Horus Heresy. I'll get this Age of Sigmar, which is the fantasy, the old world, which is like the original fantasy. I get all those IPs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I
yeah,
get
yeah.
something that's even more beautiful, and you're gonna be like, ooh, you dirty bastard!
Well, you're
Oh,
sneaking
yeah.
into Lord of the Rings here,
I'm
right?
sneaking in the Lord of the Rings in there. I sure fucking am.
So there's like a Lord of the Rings land and a Warhammer 40K land. Is that like the way it would be
And then
done?
a old world land. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What else comes under Games Workshop? Have they got other stuff too?
So I'm kind of thinking the Horus Heresy, which is 30K, and then 40K. That's the same. That's Imperium land, let's say.
Cool. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Then maybe you got the old world, which I know sounds a bit like, well, one of their games is Warhammer the Old World, but I'll include Age of Sigmar there because again, they're both fantasy.
Okay. Cool.
Now, I could do Necromunda, but Necromunda is part of the 40K universe, so I'll probably keep that there. So I'll probably just do three lands at the
Right.
moment.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
have the
And is this
Imperium.
all within the one park, or is this a is would you envision this as a no? These are three separate parks. You know, you got to buy tickets to each of them. You know, or is it a no, no, no? You buy a ticket, you come in, and then you can go into each of these.
Uh, hmm. I don't want to be greedy,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but
But
like,
you want to be very expansive too, do you?
yeah, I want to be expansive. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Because I don't want to do a disservice
To
to any of
either of
these things.
these.
Right,
Okay.
because you still have the Lord of the Rings world, and you'd want that to be a you don't want that to be like something that's stapled on. You want that to be
No,
a big thing,
this is wild.
right? So that's my one anyway.
No, no, yeah, yeah.
That's
No, keep going. I want to let's keep diving into yours
right,
then.
right. So well, like so I don't have every single ride planned out. I don't have everything planned out. I have
Okay.
ideas. I have ideas.
Yes. Yeah.
So things like when you have the drop tower,
Yes.
right? So I was thinking, I don't know if that would go into each world. Maybe it would, but it's definitely going into the Imperium world.
Okay.
You get into a Space Marine drop pod.
Yes. Oh, cool. Okay.
You get that. You get you're in. The
Yeah.
doors will close, so you're climbing up. So you only see a slit
Yeah.
as you're climbing and climbing and climbing. So which will create the suspense of you don't really you're getting higher, but you don't really know how high you're getting because you
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else.
Fuck, I never thought of a drop tower. This is great.
You get to the top,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And just before it drops, the doors will open.
Oh, fuck.
Boom, right? The doors open, so it's almost like but it'll do like an effect, like there's a malfunction.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And there's
So
all the
the
sound effects and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
door
Yeah. Yeah.
opens and then the boom, the pod gets dropped down.
Class.
Because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
you do. So and then of course you'd have like all the people going around. Like
In the
you'd have
costumes, photo
like
ops and stuff.
the space marines and maybe the people serving the food and the like cute things are like the servitors or the like or the weird pre like kind of normal conscripts of like the old world and within Lord of the Rings you'd have like the the Rohirrim peasants that's you'd go to like yeah the Golden Hall of Theoden is probably the main feasting area
Amazing. Yes.
like in the Lord of the Rings world and then like obviously each area has its own like roller coaster ride. So with fucking the old world, they do have like Pegasus type things and like wyverns and dragons. So you'd probably be on like those things, and you're like you get into them. Obviously, it's like a car type thing, but it looks like that design.
Yeah.
As you probably
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe like a little bit like that Peter Pan thing, but slightly better as it like soars over a burning city in the hinterlands in that fantasy
Yeah.
land
Yeah.
and
Yeah. This is like
obviously
a grim, dark theme park. Like,
yeah, grim dark theme park, and then like with Lord of the Rings, you'd
oh my
have
god. Part of me thinks you need to. Sorry, just as you're pitching it there, it's like just when I started Grimdark, I'm like maybe the 40K land needs to be called Grim Park as opposed to
that's
Grimdark.
that's way better. But I had no real name. That is the best one, Grim Park.
So good.
And then with like Lord of the Rings, you'd probably have like the mine carts going through Moria.
Cool. Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
have
Like dwarf
animatronics.
minecarts.
Yeah, and you'd have like the animatronics of dwarves mining up the gold, and maybe as you go further down, there's the goblins, and then as you get down towards the bottom, you have the sound of the Balrog, and
And real
maybe
flames can come out.
yeah, yeah. So you have that sort of in Lord of the Rings land, but then in like the 40K land, you'd have like I suppose like in the start with the Star Wars and Disney, you'd sit in the speeder, and so you'd have the holograph of boo getting launched out of the battle cruiser into this big space battle and la da 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 da.
So a
And you
big
got the
simulator.
big simulator type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my idea. I mean, of course, you get a Ferris wheel, which stuff like that, which are just
Your
bump.
typical stuff that people like to see in any theme park.
Yeah, and maybe I was kind of thinking a water slide, but like covered in blood, but maybe not. Just like absolutely horrify
Oh, but
people.
you could just want to throw in a water park element as well, do you?
Yeah, because especially in the old world, one of the armies you can play as are a very aquatic, water-like people. So it kind of makes sense that you include a water area for them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There could be
you
a
know,
water coaster.
yeah, so you have like a water coaster type thing for them and stuff. So that's kind of like that's the idea. And again, each area would have its food area. Obviously, Lord of the Rings is probably the nicer
Mm.
experience. Maybe.
Can you go for a pint in the Green Dragon?
Oh yeah, yeah, I thought the Green Dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like Lord of the
Hobbiton would be like a spot, right? Like you can go into Hobbiton and they've nearly like created it.
Yeah, so the way I'd be thinking of it would be like Lord of the Rings is the most child friendly, the most family friendly.
Family friendly. Yeah.
And then the other two are that little bit more hardcore.
With the 40K stuff probably being the most intense, like the most intense roller coasters and shit.
Probably because you got the simulator,
Mm.
you got the drop pod idea, yeah, and like with the other one, you again, you're probably like soaring through the mountains and shit like that on big roller coasters. While the other one is like you might go on like it's a small world after all type ride, but it's like you're seeing Hobbiton and Gondor and Rohan as you have all those people kind of singing in
Class,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings land.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of what I was thinking for it because
I assume then there would also be, because it's a Games Workshop themed land, there would be a fuckload of Games Workshop like actual shops where you can also just buy all the fucking models, rule books, dice,
yeah,
all
so
that
that's
stuff,
that's
as well as
that's
merch and everything.
yeah, so that would be the kind of yeah, the merchandise of it would be the mainly the models, and you would have the big dioramas, and like I was even thinking when you first enter Middle Earth, that's what it'd be called, Middle Earth.
Yeah,
You would have the statue of like Helm Hammerhand, right?
class.
Because there you have the statue of Helm Hammerhand from Helm's Deep, but when you go into the old world, you have a statue of fuck, what's his name? He's a guy. He's like a main character from Age of Sigmar with a warhammer. But you have like, or just one of those old-fashioned statues. When you go into Imperium Land, you have the Emperor as a statue. Like that's the first thing you're gonna see is these statues in each one.
Mm.
And there would obviously be photo ops. You'd probably have people there, like Helm Hammerhand. You'd probably have Rohirrim. The other one you'd probably have like some like Stormcast Eternals standing by, which are like these great big golden knights in fantasy.
Yes,
And
yeah.
then with the Imperium, you'd obviously have the Custodes, the big golden space marine chaps that were the protectors of the Emperor. So like, you'd have those various things that you wouldn't have as many as them, but like that idea, like the menus, the food on the menus would probably be like very much named. So when you go to Lord of the Rings, you'd have lambus bread, and yes, a pint from the
Yes,
Gold
because
Dragon. You have
people
all.
want to go and taste those things. In a similar way, like if they go to the Harry Potter world, they can taste
Mm,
butterbeer and stuff like.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go to if so you might have like Croot Hound as like meat or something from the Imperium, or
Yeah.
you might have a beer called Wag, because there's play on the orcs and stuff, and yeah, so that was kind of like, and you could
And can you
probably
order second breakfast?
yeah.
Like, is there
Well,
like
if you're staying over, yeah, yeah,
there's
if
a
you're staying.
menu there? It's like breakfast, second breakfast. And it's all different
11
items.
these luncheons, yeah, 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 at different times.
That'd be class.
You got to do that, like, and you would probably get to be able to like within like Lord of the Rings, within Middle Earth, they'll have a the Elven Forge.
Mm.
Right. So you have you have the
Cool, yeah.
ride for the Rohirrim. You'd have like a tour guide of maybe like Helm's Deep or something like that. Like
Or
a
you can
miniature
like a
Helm's Deep.
miniature set, yeah.
Yeah, miniature set. You do like a tour guide and it's like blah blah blah. They
Class,
almost
yeah.
treat it like it's history. But then you'll get to go to Rivendell. Maybe there's like the Elven Forge where you can almost like build your own lightsaber.
Like
You can build your own sword or your own weapon.
obviously not sharp, right?
No, 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 not
But
sharp, not
like
sharp.
building your own replica kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. You can get it engraved in Elven for a
Hmm.
fucking small fortune, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or dwarvish, whichever is suiting your fancy. Uh, yeah, and then of
Amazing.
course you have your photo ops, and then of course at the end there would have to be the parade. So you have all the different people doing their parades at the end. So you have the different sections. So you have your
Yes.
Gondorians or Rohirrim marching, and then you got your knights and whatnot marching, and then you got your Space Marines and Imperial Guard marching and stuff. With like the floats are done like. So you have the floats as like chariots and tanks and shit going
Class, yeah,
along.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's like a military parade, like
yeah, pretty much. Uh,
yeah.
and then even like some of the I don't even know how you do them, but like some of the animatronics might be like flying around. So like when you're in Middle Earth,
Mm.
you have the crows of Dunland, but as animatronics flying around.
You wouldn't get them to
Um,
just train real crows to do it now.
Well, the reason I'm saying animatronics is because when I go on to some of the other stuff,
uh,
especially something like the Imperium,
yes,
having
they have to have, yeah, yeah.
the servitor skulls going around, you know what I mean?
Which would be a drone, probably, that
Yeah, a
a
drone just
decoration,
kind
and
of yeah
yeah,
going around,
yeah.
for sure. And then what like I mean, you probably end up having like there has to be a dark like super dark ride, so again you're probably
Yeah.
going into the bowels of like in one of the more darker kind of theme parks you'd have going into the bowels of something, and you'd have again the actors being all very scary. So maybe for Imperium going into the bowels of the hive cities, and you
Okay.
seeing all the different people dressed as the servitors working away and shit like that, and they might like look at you and stuff. And with the other one, you might be going into the bowels of like some chaos fortress. So you see all the chaos knights and chaos cultists worshiping. That'd be like in the fantasy land and stuff. And then with the actually, you can do dark with Lord of the Rings because you go into Minas Morgul and you got the orcs and you got the ring wraiths and everything like that,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, doing their thing. And you'd of course have the characters roaming around for photoshops for the kids.
Yes.
Um,
And the adults.
no, no, no,
Tell me
ridiculous.
you wouldn't want a photo with Space Marines
I'd want a
if you saw
photo with
them.
all of them.
Of course you would. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause that's why
yeah,
you've
yeah.
come up with this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What like I'm trying to think like is there any other right like I mean the bumper cars there are certain things that are just like
Yeah, I think like just because other theme parks do it doesn't mean everyone has to do it. There's ones that will make sense and ones that won't. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
But
Like
like
I don't have a drop tower, which it'd be nice to have one. Most of them do because it's a good way of like getting a view of the park as
mm,
well. I don't have one yet, and I'm gonna have to think about that. But
yeah, but like like most of them do have bumper cars because they're a nice fun one for the kids and parents and everything. A
yeah, yeah,
bit like a safe auxiliary, but again they're bumper cars. Yeah, you can put them to literally any of them. They work, they're fine. But like that's just kind of the more different themes I had,
yeah.
for sure. Like a haunted house again would probably be like the Chaos Cultist actually
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the place that'd be like the haunted house and stuff. I am like a part of me is just how far do you go with some of this?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, in Dreamland, you can go as far as you want, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like in terms of it's like, but imagine if I was trying to ground this in an actual reality of, like, if I did have all the money in the world and I could make this happen, how far would I go? You know, and how far would insurance let me go?
Yeah. Like I'm just thinking, like obviously no one gets hurt, but like, do you have to put like an age limit on some of the things you go? Yeah, no. Like it says,
They always put like height restrictions and stuff, don't they? You know, and that's kind of it works almost as an age limit in many ways. It
yeah,
basically
but
like if
some
you're
people get.
this small, you're also underage. You know,
I know, but you could have someone who's just
who's
like
just a small person.
who's just a small person, and you could have some
True.
people who have just incredible growth spurts.
Yes, that's true
They're
too.
like 5, but they're the size of a 15-year-old.
Yes, that's true too. That's true too. Would you have like? Would there be shows? Any shows?
Oh yeah, for sure,
Hmm.
absolutely. In fact, actually, sorry, yeah, that is a thing. Sorry, yeah, I was getting so focused on just rides and stuff. So yeah, there would be shows,
Hmm.
for sure. Of like for Lord of the Rings, there'd be a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more reenactments, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, they could do a battle reenactment in a stadium.
Yeah, yeah, and then with the
That'd be
other
fucking
ones,
cool.
there might be a little bit more theatrical, like a
Yeah.
showcase, because of the fact that
Well,
with the
actually,
others.
it's like bringing skirmishes to life then, like the actual tabletop skirmishes.
Yeah, well, I suppose actually, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
There probably would be that too, war game tournaments in there,
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people can bring their own armies. But I think with the other ones, because the other ones don't have the movies, they might have like some of them kind of a. All right, now listen up. Kind of like a drill sergeant comes out and starts talking to the audience, and like these people are gonna do a thing, and yeah, then there might be some reenactments of battles and stuff to get that approach to it. But I was also thinking of doing a
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
cinema,
Yeah.
which can
Just
show
just
obviously.
replays the extended editions of Lord of the Rings.
Well, it's
On
not just Lord of the
repeat.
Rings. It's not just
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. It will also be The Hobbit,
Yeah. Of
and it will
course.
also be the Banshee because you got it then.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any and all Middle Earth media. Does that mean
yeah,
Rings of
yeah.
Power as
That
well?
so Rings of Power, and then like cinematics for the Space Marine stuff until we get movies and
Yes.
everything like
Yeah.
that. Maybe a gym. Put a gym in the Imperium just so people can fucking work out, get
Well,
buff.
that would go in one of the hotels, right? One of the
Yeah,
themed
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hotels.
But that's what I'm talking about. The Imperium Hotel would get.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Gym
that
Bros.
immediately actually sounds like a really good name for a hotel.
Imperium Hotel sounds like a great hotel.
Yeah, and then you
Be
have the
all
sig.
Imperial
So
themed.
yeah, and then you got maybe sig the.
You can't say the Sigma Hotel. You'll have
I
kids going to
no,
it for all the wrong reasons.
I was about to say Sigmar,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sigmar
What the
Hotel.
Sigma?
And then for Lord of the Rings, what would be Hobbiton, Bag End Hotel.
Oh yeah, you could do that. You could do
Oh,
the what's the other one? The Prancing Pony Eater. Like you could do that. You stay in
oh
Bree.
yeah.
But yeah,
So would it be referred to as a Prancing Pony or the Brie Hotel?
um, it'd have to be the Prancing Pony, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Would.
But it'd be a hotel as opposed to an inn. Like it would
Yeah,
be, and it
yeah.
would just be themed, but not a direct replica of the actual Prancing Pony.
Yes, and
Because you need to
I
fit more people in, like.
yeah. I do wonder if you get your man to say the whole line as well. As like, and we got some nice little hobbit-sized
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
beds.
All the people who work there could be kind of dressed like him.
Every single one
Every
of them
single
has
one
the
of them.
same
That's
mustache
the
and
very
everything.
same look. Yes. Yes. I love how we both gone for a gaming themed thing, but different kinds of gaming,
Mm.
as well as then obviously you could take in the movies and stuff as well.
Yeah, I was
Um,
very happy with my choice because I was like, oh my God, I got Lord of the Rings. Fucking let's go.
in there. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so sorry, did you have more or I don't want to
I don't want to
cut you
keep
off.
going because I feel like
You
I
can.
just got
You can if you have more. You can go. You can keep going if
no,
you
no, no.
want.
I think that's most of the like for me the highlight was just being able to include so much and like we can keep adding and we can do more and then just the idea of the aesthetic and design of the places.
Yeah,
And I was really happy with the idea of the drop pod for the tower. I was like,
that's a great idea.
that's just
Yeah,
I had that
would you get
idea.
on
I had
that?
that idea and I no.
If you made that, would you get on it?
No. That's not that I have no faith in my engineers building. That's just I hate
Yes.
heights.
Yeah. I what I came up with is my worst nightmare.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if anyone is a hardcore Games Workshop fan in terms of Warhammer, the old world, or if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, and if you want to add your input to Eric's theme park, feel free to get in touch and say, hey, what if a ride was like this, or what if you took this real ride but rethemed it as this? You know, because if you go to theme parks, like a lot of them have the same rides rethemed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
You start getting
that's
used to it, you go, okay, yeah, this is very like that one, but obviously it looks different and it's named different. But yeah, yeah, you know, that's everyone has their own version of the teacups, for example. You know, like it's classic. Like I don't know why that would be in your world. I don't know if there would be a teacup experience, but if anyone else out there knows, feel free
it's
to add it in. Nurgle's teapots. It's
yeah.
all like gross, disgusting. Yeah. Okay, so my theme park is PlayStation World. That's what it's called, right?
I feel like
And
you're way more prepared for this. I feel like you're like
to be fair, it was my
you
topic, so I had been thinking about it and then said, oh, this would be a fun episode. Like,
yeah, you probably have the
so
prices sorted. Like,
no, I haven't gone that far. I haven't gone that far. More just in the experiences of it. So obviously, like, so my envisioning of what it's, I don't have like and then you come 5 meters to the left and you'll find this. And, you know, I don't have it like that, but I do have an idea of like what it would look like. But I don't have so I have sections, but I don't have what goes in each section. I'll just list out what I have, and if people want, actually, they can be like, oh well, yeah, I'd put these together in that section or whatever. But so there'd be a grand entrance, obviously, with the big PlayStation logo, you know,
fair enough.
and then you walk up, and then there's like a big street of shops and stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like a long street, first of all, with like shops, maybe photo ops, couple of different things, plaques, statues of like iconic characters and things like that. Maybe even like the Colossus from Shadow of the Colossus, for example. You know, some stuff that you're like, there's probably not going to be a ride of that, but we want to still include it. You know what I mean? Or there could be like a Sly Raccoon, or you know, that kind of thing. So then you get up to the end of the street and there's a big lake, right? A big central lake. Because that's basically where everyone can stand around it at the end, and that's where the big show at the end happens. You know, there'll be fireworks, a water show, different clips from different games throughout the ages, that kind of stuff, right? So that's the big nighttime show before everyone has to leave, get out, right? And as you're walking throughout the park, there's music playing from video games as you go around, right? This park has obviously got a lot of PlayStation IP, but I also, as a lifelong PlayStation fan, for me, it would be important to honor certain games that had a strong relationship with PlayStation. Okay, and that are associated. No, that are all associated with PlayStation. Whether they started on PlayStation, they were PlayStation exclusives at certain points, that kind of thing. There's no there won't be a Gears of War thing here because it's now coming to PlayStation. That's not happening. It has to be. You know, like Gears of War is Xbox. It has to be very much, yes, this was part of PlayStation's identity, you know?
Right, but quick before you really get into it. So I'd assume then the things that were released on PlayStation and Xbox at the same time, like an Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty.
There'll be no Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty here. Because it doesn't make sense to be part of the identity of the park, right?
Yeah, so, okay, that's kind of...
So there's a big lake. There's some kind of centerpiece in the middle. Again, maybe it's the logo or something like that. There needs to be some sort of focal point, and then obviously a show happens at night. But coming off of the center, there's 4 lands, right? 4 different lands, or 4 areas, maybe sectors, regions, whatever you want to call them. For each one, there's a gateway, like a doorway to each, just to separate them a little bit. And above each is a PlayStation symbol. So you can kind of think of it as there's the X region, the circle region, the triangle region, and the square region. And within those regions, there's a variety of different rides and experiences. Okay? So I don't have what goes in each, but these have to be kind of divvied out across the 4.
Right, okay, so you're not doing it in this is PS1 era, PS2
no,
era.
I don't think so, because otherwise what would happen is you start getting to like, oh, when they make a PlayStation 6, now we have to add a PlayStation 6 era land.
Right, yeah, that's right.
And it would take a while before you start adding to that. And also, a lot of games and IPs go like cross-generational, and so it's not done that way. It's just done. There has to be regions just to give some sense of if you have a map, you have a place to start, or let's start with that land, let's start with this land, and within those lands, there's love letters to PlayStation as a whole. Okay, so some of the rides and experiences that you'll find at PlayStation World. There are actually 2 God of War experiences. Okay?
Interesting. Okay.
That would maybe be in different regions. I don't know if they'd be beside each other, right? But they're very different rides, and they're the different eras of God of War. One of them is God of War Chain of Balance. Okay,
You've even named
I've
them?
named some of these. So,
Oh, come on, dude.
so this is a roller coaster because I wanna hit at like the PlayStation 2 era God of War, to just angry rage. Let's go. Uh, so the
Is
track.
there just blood and tits everywhere?
No, the track. No, everything is actually very family friendly. But
Okay.
obviously, some rides are more intense than others. The track comes out of the ground, so when you go into the queue, it's like you're down in Erebus. The track is supposed to look like a big chain,
Mm.
so it's basically the chain that goes up to Olympus.
Hmm.
So that's why it goes very fucking high and then it comes back down basically. And so that ride is obviously just a roller coaster that loops up and down, and you can kind of hear the bum, bottom, bada bum, that kind of music, right? As you go.
Right, okay.
The other God of War experience then is more of a dark ride, which is like an indoor ride, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean type thing.
Right, okay, yeah.
And this is God of War the Nine Realms, or something like that. Okay, so this
Okay,
is
yeah.
obviously a more Norse themed one. So there's the Greek themed one, is a roller coaster. The Norse themed one is you get on a little boat. So a couple of people get in a boat, kind of like the boat that
Yeah,
Kratos
I
and
try. Yeah.
Atreus are in. And on the front of every boat is a little animatronic head of Mimir, who
Nice.
talks to you as you go through. You're in like water and you're going through the different realms. And there's all
Yeah.
animatronics as you go through. I want this to be like a you want to ride these rides, right? So you're going through and it plays the music. Eventually, when you get to the end of it, though, however, like there's lightning and thunder effects and shit, and like the God of War Ragnarok music starts playing. It starts ramping up, and you hear sound effects of war and everything. And basically, the Ragnarok music plays towards the end, right?
Okay.
And at the very end, there's a big animatronic, and this I've taken from the Jurassic Park ride. There's a big animatronic of the world serpent's head, and it's like you're going towards it, and you're kind of like, oh shit, it looks like it's going to eat you. But just before it does, the boat drops down a big waterfall,
Okay.
and that's when it comes back outside. So basically, you had a big splash then at the end, and that was
Mm.
so it was an immersive ride with a big fun drop, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so those are God of War experiences. In another section, there's a bit of homage to Final Fantasy.
Mm.
Okay, two of which are very much kiddie rides that are kind of Final Fantasy as a whole. One of which is a Final Fantasy VII ride. Okay,
He's got to put in there, folks.
it's PlayStation. So there's a Chocobo carousel.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
carousel, Chocobos playing the Chocobo theme. There's also then Mog's teacups. So the teacup ride here is a Moogle themed teacup ride. Makes sense to me. Very kiddie friendly, and yeah.
Yeah.
But the Final Fantasy VII ride is called Final Fantasy VII Escape from Midgar. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Now, for this ride, it's very much inspired by, and you can look up videos of this if you want, guys, if you haven't seen it before, but Hagrid's magical creatures. Okay? That ride works where there's a motorbike and a sidecar. They're connected to each other, and it is a roller coaster. It's quite fast, and it's quite immersive, and it stops, and you get to see different animatronics. Things like this. In this case, it's a motorbike and the blue pickup truck
Right.
attached to each other. You can either sit on the motorbike or sit in the blue pickup truck. Right? There's multiples of them, obviously,
Mm.
so that multiple people get to go on it. But they might want to rewrite it to try out what it's like on the motorbike or in the blue Jeep. And then there would be screens and stuff, and basically it plays lots of music for 557. It's fast, it's high paced, high action. The screens will show like Shinra chasing you, helicopters, stuff like that. And basically supposed to be the escape from Midgar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A similar ride to that, in a way, is the Metal Gear Encounter.
Right. You're on a
Okay.
Jeep.
You are on a Jeep, correct?
Shout out Moses.
Yeah, you're on a
Yeah.
Jeep when you're in it and it starts. However, this one uses a mixture of, it does move around, but it also uses simulator screens and stuff, right? This one's all indoors. You are supposed to be escaping Shadow Moses, and the whole queue system would be you're in Shadow Moses, right? But you get at the start of the ride, you get like a codec call. Colonel comes up on the screen, tells you that you have to get out of there. And as it's going through the ride, there's moments where it stops, and on the screen there'll be members of Foxhound. A really good example of what this ride would be like would be the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, again over in Universal. If you want to check that out at some point, everyone, all the different villains come on the screen and stuff, and the vehicle moves around. But at the end, there would be an actual animatronic. It only moves a little bit, but of Metal Gear Rex. And that would be the moment where everyone goes, wow, you
Life
need to
size.
ride this ride. Yeah, it would have to be. It would have to be a life-sized animatronic of
That's
Metal Gear
fucking
Rex.
huge.
They once did one of King Kong, and
Life size?
it was one of the things that everyone's like, you need to ride. I think it was like you could only see him from the torso up, so it could be that. It could be that you just see the upper half of Rex, but it's a life-size upper
Yeah,
half,
yeah, yeah.
and it's like, holy fuck. So that's
Hey,
kind of
big boy.
another exciting ride. Like, and as you go through the queue, you see things like the cardboard box, and you'll see, there'll be rations on a shelf. Like things that you want to take pictures of while you're in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for a more family friendly ride.
Okay.
Astrobot's Rescue Mission. This one would work a bit like Star Tours. You
Okay.
know, it's a simulator ride, but this time the vehicle itself doesn't move around. It's literally just doing the tilting in the back and the fort, and basically it's you're in Astrobot's ship and you're flying through space. It's kind of like the final battle from Astrobot, actually.
Yeah.
But maybe you also like briefly go into different worlds, and it's the Astrobot versions of key PlayStation characters. I think that would work here,
Mm.
and like the Astrobot version of that music as you go through. So it'd be like a fun ride for everyone who can take part. Big capacity, lots of people can get on. In terms of other things that are kind of geared more at kids, Spyro's Dragons would be a ride that's like, do you ever see, I don't know what they're called, but do you ever see like maybe even in Disneyland they have like Dumbo's thing where it's like you get in the elephant and it slowly goes around in a circle and goes up and down. There's usually like a central
Oh, yeah.
thing and there's arms and they just go around in a circle
Yeah.
and go up and down,
It's kind
right?
of like
So
it's like the next step of a carousel almost.
yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, now let's add a bit of height to a carousel. So that would be
Yeah.
Spyro's Dragons.
Okay.
There would also be for the very little ones, the Ape Escape Playground. Okay, it's like just an
When
Ape
you put
Escape
you
themed
put them in
playground.
there with actual apes.
Yeah, 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 and they
Yeah.
chase you.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's also the Crash Coaster, which is a Crash Bandicoot themed roller coaster.
Okay.
But it's for kids. Like it's a kids coaster. It's
Hmm.
very, very like Treetops from Oakwood back in the day, or very like Flight School from Emerald Park, or yeah, really kid friendly. Tilts, but does not go upside down or anything like
Right.
that. Really like easy going. With a Crash Bandicoot shaped front on it, it kind of like or like the Slinky ride or whatever. It's kind of like that. And obviously the queue for that is all very like Crash Bandicoot music, and it's all rainforesty and jungly as you're going through. So that's kind of fun. Um, else do I have for the kiddos? Because I was thinking about kids. Oh yeah, do you know like in Disney they've got the Buzz Lightyear shoot things ride,
Hmm. I
right?
was actually just thinking. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
So there's a Ratchet and Clank one called Ratchet and Clank Shots Fired. And on this ride, because they always have puns at their names, right? So on this ride,
Well, yeah, yeah. They have innuendos with their names.
they do. Maybe it needs a renaming. What would be a good name for a Ratchet and Clank ride where you're in a vehicle and you're going around shooting the targets?
Ratchet and Clank's comeback,
Maybe. Okay.
maybe.
But yeah, if someone could
Like
think
a
of a better
stretch of an
one, or a
innuendo,
really
but
good
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But yeah, obviously, like this, what you're going in. There's like a video of Clank telling you what you have to do or whatever. You go around doing the shooting. Maybe at the end, there's also a Ratchet that you get to see. It does a little thing. It's obviously very, very kid friendly.
Hmm.
Um, and then, another one that would be very like for anyone, really, really chill, is just called Journey. And Journey is basically a little like a tram that takes you all around the whole park. Like a little train type thing where
Hmm.
you just want to see what's in the park or just take it all in, but like it's very slow and nice. But the color theming of the whole train is basically the long scarf.
Yeah.
And inside the carriages, the music from Journey is playing as you're going
Mm.
around. So it's a really nice, because a lot of people I think see those kind of trains that go around parks as incredibly boring or like a really dull ride. I want this to be a way of like, oh, if you want to take in everything and also just be like immersed in
Mm.
the experience of like being wow as you go around, right? So
Hmm.
that's Journey. Very easy ride. Is kind of constantly going, stops at different stops to let people on and goes again. You can get on at different places.
Hmm.
Um, but let's get back to the more exciting experiences then. Yeah, there is a Tomb Raider stunt show.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
So an actor or stunt person would play Lara Croft, and there'd be a spectacle and a stunt show, kind of like the Indiana Jones stunt show that they have over at Disney. Um, because I couldn't do, I mean, I could have done like a Tomb Raidery ride,
Hmm.
but I was like, it'd be too similar to Uncharted Drake's Adventure, which would be one of the best rides in the whole park by far.
Okay.
Think of something like Thunder Mountain, maybe, or there's also Expedition Everest is another really good ride that would be a good example of it. But basically, you're on a train. It's like the train sequence. You're going on a track around a mountain. It's a snowy mountain. It's very Uncharted 2 inspired
Mm.
because I just think
Okay.
that feels like a roller coaster. And then there is animatronics of the Sasquatches. You know what I mean? And it's just like a really fun kind of thrill ride. Doesn't go upside down or anything, but does it goes fast, it tilts, it goes in the dark. Maybe at one point it goes backwards, things like
Yeah.
that. Things like that. But it's a fun one. Okay. Um I have more.
Feel
So
like you should have
then
went first.
no, not so. Not so. So then there's also the am I going too fast?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
I
There's
I do have two ideas, but I didn't want
great,
to really interrupt you because
great.
you were
I
on
want
a roll.
I want to hear your ideas at the end, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so do keep them and add them
Yeah.
in, right? So there would be twin coasters. So what twin coasters are is two roller coasters that are beside each other
Hmm.
that launch at the same time, and they're usually like ones that race each other or they interact with each other. They kind of interweave, the tracks interweave and stuff, right?
Is this
So Stardust Racers is a new one that people could check out for what I'm talking about.
oh.
I was trying to think though of how do I do a Spider-Man ride in this park,
Oh, okay. You
right?
wait,
So
is this to be like the oh wait, is Stardew
Sorry,
Stardust?
Stardust Racers is a real ride that
Oh, that's a
exists that
real
you can
right.
check
Okay.
out.
So you're wanting to do it as like a spider, like it's Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Yes. So
Okay.
the idea is here. So I was like, I can't do a Spider-Man ride with a storyline because it's going to be too similar to existing Spider-Man rides.
Mm.
Whether it's like Disney's Marvel MCU stuff or Universal's comic book Spider-Man stuff.
Mm.
So I was like, what could I do different? I want a twin coaster. So in this one, it's supposed to be less about telling a story and more about let's make you feel immersed into swinging through like New York and going through the web wings and stuff like that. So one of the um, roller coasters is color themed as the Insomniac Spider-Man,
Okay.
and the other one is the Insomniac like Miles Morales.
Hmm.
And they both interweave with each other, and as you're in it, like the speakers are playing the music, but also you can hear the sound of web swinging. And when it goes really fast, it's like the sound of going through those tunnels for the web wings.
Yeah.
And basically, it's just to make you feel like you're swinging around, you're flying, that kind of thing.
That's actually not where I thought you were going to go with that idea.
Okay, where do you think I was gonna go?
I thought you were going to go with that. Yeah, is it PSP only or did they have it on other ones? The because I think it's PlayStation exclusive. The Space Racer game.
Oh, Ridge Racer.
No,
Although it
no,
could be Ridge Racer as well. That would also be cool.
no, you don't not Ridge Racers.
Ridge Racer.
No,
No,
the
Ridge
other
Racer is
one.
cars. Sorry, no, I'm thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, what is? Yeah, I know the one you mean, and that's the one I mean as well. But I can't think of the name of it. Uh,
Oh fucking hell! I keep
it's
Rezo Gun keeps popping in my head, but it's not
it's
Rezo
not
Gun.
Resogun. It's not
Uh,
Resogun.
Fucking hell! But you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It's like Tron the game almost or something like that, or
Yeah.
like it's Tron and pod racing slapped together, and you're these hovercraft ships going along these racetracks. Oh, you're looking it up there, aren't you?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
Um.
By the way, that's where I thought you were going with it, and
No, I
not.
wasn't actually. I was like, I need to fit in Insomniac Spider-Man in some way, but I don't want to copy what already exists in terms of Spider-Man rides.
I mean,
So
I would have
I like
almost.
the idea of the two.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I actually myself probably would have done a stunt show with Spider-Man, but then you already have that Lara Croft. But
Hmm.
no, that is actually a really, really clever kind of way of doing that. Trying to give the people the sense of swinging. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So to get away from rides for just a little bit, but we will
Hmm.
come back to more rides.
Okay.
Um, and by the way, I don't envision these different lands as like you pay to get into each one. This is very much this is a one park,
Right.
lots
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do, but you would want multiple days.
Yeah. Okay.
If you could do it in one, you can go in one day. You will not do everything in one
Yeah.
day. That's the way I envision it. Like you kind of want to come and stay in one of the hotels and do multiple days. Okay. So some of the other like theming experiences that be fun, apart from obviously people going around dressed as the characters and getting photos and all that kind of stuff, there's porters that go around. Okay. Now these guys obviously are dressed like the guys from Death Stranding, and so there is shops where you could buy sweets and food, and there's cafes, there's restaurants, but
Yeah.
these guys also go around selling. You can like get drinks off them, you can get
Yeah.
popcorn off them. They're like those people that go around and go, hey, get your whatever,
Yeah.
but they're porters and they literally walk around and are
Yeah.
just like, yeah. I was like, how can I get Death Stranding in here? I don't think a ride is the thing, but the whole delivering thing is what I wanted to get in. um there is a couple of themed restaurants that I had in mind, but
Mm.
obviously there would be a lot more, so people can add to this.
Yeah.
But one, for example, would be Dante's Pizzeria, which is a Devil May Cry themed pizza place, and it's got all like if you go in, it's kind of like the Hard Rock Cafe in a way, where there's like memorabilia on the walls, like the two guns are in a case, the
Mm.
swords are in cases and things on the wall, but there's music playing, like
Mm.
the kind of music you'd get in a Devil May Cry game, but it's a pizza joint. You get to go in, hang out, get pizzas, that kind of thing. There's also Mongro's Motorcycle Club, which is a biker club where you can go hang out, get a drink. It's more like a pub kind of thing. And this is the Days Gone reference, right? So I was like, I don't have a Days Gone ride, but I think you could have a Days Gone pub, right? So things like that. There's got to be more restaurants and deep stuff. Like I was thinking maybe there could be a Parappa the Rapper kind of kids place as well, but I don't know enough about that to
Matt,
kind
you
of
were on
give
a
that.
roll, and then you fucking pop
You
it around.
fucking ruined it, right? Okay.
I hate this park now.
There would obviously be parades during the day,
Hmm.
the fun
Yeah.
parades or whatever. They're different to the big show, but there is parades. There's a PlayStation museum. This isn't for everyone, of course, but there is a museum you can go into where you learn the history of the different consoles, everything that they've ever made, like all the different hardware that they've ever made is on display, and like little plaques about how they were made and things like that. Maybe little interactive videos, that kind of stuff. Like the kind of thing Adam would be really into. There, no, that's okay. On the topic of the theming, I
Yeah.
have so there's four areas,
Hmm.
and I had in mind four hotels.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe they're connected to each of those actually, because if you're a hotel guest, you probably enter the park differently to just someone who's just going to the park.
Hmm.
So those four hotels are: there's a Little Big Hotel, which is a very, very family friendly Little Big Planet themed thing.
Hmm.
Sackboy is their mascot. Everything in there is like themed in the graphics of a Little Big Planet, and that's very, very kiddie focused, right?
Hmm.
There's the Tsushima Hotel. This is a Japanese inspired hotel. There's glass cabinets with the different samurai armor. There's artwork everywhere. This one is a little bit more couple orientated. There would be saunas and
Hmm.
bathhouses and things like that. And it's got it's got a fancy restaurant, that kind of thing. It's another one where I was like, and there's cherry blossom trees. Like I couldn't think of a Tsushima ride, but
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, but a hotel, because you want to be in that world,
Well, a
not.
restaurant would have been another good idea.
Yeah, yeah, that would be another good one. This next hotel is going to be for very particular people, but it's also going to be done in a really cool way. And this is the Yarnum Hotel. And
Oh
this
damn,
one is
guys. Guys,
goth.
he's mentioned it. Bloodborne.
I did
Bloodborne's
it.
been mentioned, boys.
So like this one's gothic and dark, and like all the decor is black, but in a really
Hmm.
cool mod. The rooms are all real modern and stuff, but
Right.
it's the hallways and stuff that
Would it
have a
not
real.
be Victorian design?
Yeah, a little bit, but I want the rooms to. I still want it to be like a nice hotel that you don't go in and go, I paid a lot to be here, and these beds are old as fuck. Like
No, no, I didn't mean you're fucking going to build them the exact same way. I just thought I was going to have that decorum
in the
of
hallways and stuff, definitely, and in the
yeah, yeah.
lobby and
You
things
want
like
people to
that.
go in and go, I'm getting haunted tonight. Like there's
Yeah, and then for the fourth hotel, if you want a super modern experience, an almost futuristic experience, there's the Cyberlife Hotel. So this is themed after Detroit Become Human.
oh,
And
Cyberlife.
there's all screens and stuff with like the androids on the screens that kind of greet you. Like this one's obviously super clean, kind of like super white, almost the opposite of Yarnum with its black colors.
Kind
Uh,
of feel like them being next to each other would be cool. I know they're not actually next to each other, but you know what I mean? Because you know,
yeah, the
yeah,
contrast. To be honest with you, you'd want to nearly stay in each hotel at some point to
mm,
just, get the
experience it.
difference and stuff. So then let's get back to rides. Okay, and I only have a few left, and that's it.
Right.
Okay. So there's a Gran Turismo racing simulator. I kind of just wanted to get something in there about that, and it's literally a
Well,
racing
I
simulator.
was I was kind of thinking that you could do an arcade place for that sort of stuff. So like
Yeah,
Ridge
and
Racer, Resogun, you
oh,
know,
you could have actual Time Crisis. You could play it in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that,
An
right?
arcade, yeah, yeah, be cool.
Then there is so while it kind of didn't make sense to put bumper cars in the Games Workshop world,
Yeah,
there
not really.
is Twisted Metal bumper cars.
Nice, nice.
To me, it was just like that. I am not a Twisted Metal fan, but you can't not put in
Ooh,
Twisted Metal
actually,
bumper cars.
what? Sorry, can we actually go back to games, the two Grim Perk for a second?
Yeah.
Because I just, well, yeah, I'm in agreement with you that we can't do bumper cars, but I just immediately had a thought of like what a fan might go like, what? What are you talking about? Of course you can put cars in there. Goat karting, but it's called orc karting,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
you're in one of those makeshift orc cart things. So you're going around. Anyway, that was
That would be
new
fucking
thing
class.
for
That
Grim
would be
Park.
fucking
Grim
class.
Park. Okay, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Uh, so yeah, getting on to the better rides then, right? This one is a no-brainer for me because it's very much so it already exists in some way, and it's about trying to translate it to a real. This is a roller coaster, and
Hmm.
it's a scary roller coaster. So some of the roller coasters are family coasters, some of them are a bit more intense. This one's very intense, and it's called Until Dawn: Rush of Blood.
So it's getting the video game and then actually.
Yes. So obviously, within the game, it probably does stuff that you legally could not do, But this is a scary roller coaster
Hmm.
with Until Dawn theming.
Yeah.
And it's named after, of course, the VR version of that game. Um, Another scary game, but more relaxed than that, much more relaxed than that, is The Last of Us Downfall.
Okay.
Now, how this ride works is it's quite a slow moving one, okay? You get in, I'm not sure whether it'll be done like you get into a little boat or you get
I
into a little
immediate
car.
I immediately imagined a boat.
Yeah, so you get into a boat. This is not about immersing you into. So the God of War one, for example, is supposed to be like, oh, you're in the world of God of War. This one is not that. This one is you get into a boat and you're going through different scenes.
Hmm.
And those scenes are the downfall of society. You get to watch the outbreak and then how people survived over the years. You're seeing graffiti of the fireflies. So it's more of like a let's tell the story of how the world of The
Ooh.
Last of Us came about.
I got a more interesting idea. Sorry.
Go
You
for it.
get into a car
Yes.
and the car will become a boat.
Okay.
So that as
So it goes down into the. Okay.
well as the city is like life is falling apart, so too is your
Okay. Yeah.
road.
And then as you go through, things get more and more overgrown. Whereas
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning, it all looked normal.
Yeah, yeah.
So that and the music plays too, obviously, as you go. So that's The Last of Us Downfall. It's a relaxing ride, but it's kind of a creepy ride. Okay. The next ride is also quite creepy.
Okay.
It's called Welcome to Silent Hill. And this one is a ghost train.
No,
And the reason it's
no,
called no,
no,
it's fine,
no,
honestly.
no, no, no.
The reason it's called Welcome to Silent Hill is the idea is you're getting on a train that's taking you to the town of Silent Hill.
No.
And while it's on the way, so you start off in like it looks like an actual. This is not necessarily themed after any particular Silent Hill game, but more about immersing you in the world of Silent Hill. So to get on this ride, you actually go to. It looks like an actual train station,
No.
right? And the train goes through a little forest, and as it's going through, fake like fog comes up, and the music will start playing. And then you get into like the train is going through a little town, and every so often it will stop, and there will be like scary animatronics. And at one point it'll be stopped, and there'll be like these nurses and stuff, you know. And at one point there will be Pyramid Head and that kind of a thing.
Oh, oh, this is not as bad as I thought you were gonna do.
No, no, it's not. It's literally
I had way
there's
worse
no.
in my head.
I'm not doing actors.
Okay, yeah, because that's in my head. I was like, the lights go out. When it comes back on, it will look industrial, and then you will have actors as nurses. Yeah, yeah.
I think you could do that, but with animatronics, so that you
I
don't
suppose.
always need the actors. So you could have a point where the train stops, and the lights go red, and what you don't realize. So the lights have gone off, and it looked one way. What you don't realize is the train is on a track that slowly rotates.
Right.
So when the lights come back on, you're actually facing somewhere else, and it looked like they all came out of nowhere.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you'd have things like that. So it would be scary
Mm.
for sure. There would be like a warning that this ride might not be, even though there's no height restriction because it's a train, that
Yeah.
it might not be suitable for all ages. So that's the Silent Hill ride. And I was like, you can't do a Silent Hill ride with PlayStation and the Legacy and not do a Resident Evil experience.
Mm-hmm.
And much like Q in James Bond, this I'm particularly proud of. So, Resident Evil Escape from Raccoon City. I would imagine, with the way I've envisioned it, because I was like, how the fuck do you do Resident Evil as a ride? This is one that people would be one of the favorites, and people would probably want to ride the most.
Okay.
It's very much inspired by the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance ride,
Okay.
which, until I experienced it, I did not know a ride could be like that. Okay? I would have had a very limited imagination as to what like that you get into a vehicle and it does something.
Yeah.
So how this one works is it's got to take elements from different things. So first of all, the signs for it and everything are outside this mansion, the Spencer Mansion. So you enter the Spencer Mansion almost like the haunted house from Disney, right? And that's the queue. The queue takes you through the mansion, and eventually enough people get brought into a room, and there's a cutoff point, and the room will close. And in this room, there's a screen that comes up that kind of preempts what's about to happen, and it's scientists from Umbrella. There's the Umbrella logo and everything. They're wanting you're all visitors. You've got visitor passes, and you're here to see the Umbrella lab. Okay, so the elevator is going down, and a thing opens, right? But when the thing opens, actually no, on its way down, there's like an emergency, and there's like red alert. It's like, oh, there's been an outbreak. There's been an outbreak. Blah 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 blah. We have to get you out of here. So as soon as the elevator opens, there is animatronics of like, oh no, not yet. There's not animatronics yet, but there's like red alarms and shit like this. But there's actors down at the bottom here. These are the guys whose job it is to secure you into a vehicle. You know, those kind of guys. But they're all dressed as the Umbrella military.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have to get you out of here. And they'll even like check some people. You're not infected. Let's go, go, go. And they get you over to, and there's a model of a helicopter. You get into the helicopter. And while you're in the helicopter, the ride continues, right? So this is all part of it. There's screens. There's the sound effects of the helicopter going. But again, what you're inside is actually a very large room that is another elevator. Okay? Oh no, it doesn't need to be. You were already in an elevator. The helicopter is up against a wall, so you only see one side of it. And the next time it opens, you'll get out the other side. So that's what will happen. So you're in the helicopter, and it has a motion. It's making you feel like you're flying.
Yeah.
And eventually it gets hit. we're going down, mayday, 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 hold on, da, da, da. And it's like it's after crashing, right? Now when it opens, you're in the streets of Raccoon City.
Okay.
And there's animatronics of zombies, and they're basically like run, 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 and you have to run to get to the tram that escapes Raccoon City.
Hmm.
And when you get in that, this is where like the ride starts. So all of that was all just preempting to the ride. It's like let's moving you through a queue system that's interactive.
Right.
And from here on, you're sitting down in something, and it does move, and then every so often it hits and shakes, and it's like there's lickers jumping on it. A lot of it's done with screens and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
basically it's to make it feel like you're trying to escape Raccoon City while infected things are trying to stop you.
Yes. Okay.
Eventually, there'll be like the big creature that's trying to get you. There'll
Yeah.
be moments where it seems like claws have come through the thing, sparks will go off that don't go anywhere near you, but it makes you feel like maybe you're in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And when that comes out, because obviously you started in the mansion and you went in an elevator, when that tram eventually comes out, you actually get out in a different place,
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. So
as if you have actually left Raccoon City behind.
nice.
Okay, so that's the Resident Evil experience. I think it would be nuts, and if pulled off correctly, it'd be like, holy shit, you need to ride that again. That was nuts.
Mm.
And then the very last ride that I have
Okay.
is a Horizon experience. And
Oh, that'd
this
be
one,
nice.
I'm not going to lie, is a total rip-off of Disney's Avatar Flight of Passage.
Fair enough. Okay.
It uses the very same technology,
Yeah.
very big screen, little VR headset type thing. You're sitting on a vehicle. The vehicle moves in a way that feels like it's breathing,
Right. So it's like the Sun
and
Wing,
it
is it
tilts and moves.
from?
That's exactly it. You're flying on a sunwing through the
Hmm.
world of Horizon as the
Nice.
music plays. It would be a fucking incredible ride because the Flight of Passage is an incredible ride.
Hmm.
And that's to me that makes most sense as the Horizon ride, and as one that's just like holy shit, that was breathtaking, but
Yes.
not scary.
Yeah, you want breathtaking with that because that is a breathtaking world, and the music is very. But actually, kind of is. Avatar is probably what it's closest to be honest. Like, it
In
does have
terms
that
of vibe and feel, yeah, yeah.
futuristic tribal. Yeah.
And that is everything that I have. So
What's that? Oh, this is.
there's a lot of stuff. All the big
Yeah, yeah.
franchises I feel are have been represented. There's a lot of great theming. I don't know what way I would divvy them out, but obviously you'd want them quite spread. You don't want all the roller coasters in one place and all the kids. You kind of want a
Yeah.
mixture of each in each land, so that
Yeah.
people are spread out across them.
Hmm.
And if people thought this was fun and want to add their own input, feel free to add more to it. You said you had two ideas.
Yeah, so you didn't know what to put into the pool, the fountain at the center.
Centerpiece, yeah.
I had an idea and then I've changed it. So
Okay,
originally I was thinking you do a statue of Astrobot because cool character, right?
cool, yeah.
But I was a bit like, some people might be like, oh well, he's not, that's not really, that shouldn't be the icon of PlayStation. It should be this character or that character, blah blah blah. But then I went, no, 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 because you're missing something here, which
Okay.
is a big thing with PlayStation, right? It should be the platinum trophy. A statue of the
Yes.
platinum trophy. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Can be the
yeah,
centerpiece.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then
Great idea.
the other thing I was thinking of, right? Because
Yeah.
you were saying at the very start we'll have a statue of this guy because you can't really do a ride with it. And I
Shadow
immediately was like,
Colossus.
yeah, I was immediately like, yes, you can. It's
Okay.
like Thunder fucking Mountain, but you're going around the Colossus.
Ah, okay, okay. You could do
You're
that.
going up and around its arms and blah blah blah, right? And then like every so often you might see the beaming lights that come from the Colossus, for where you have to strike it. Now obviously you don't strike it, but that idea, like
Yeah.
that was
Well,
kind of my
the other thing I was thinking, because I did have a Shadow Colossus idea, but it wasn't a ride, and I
okay.
was kind of like, would you even put this in a theme park? It was, those like wall climbing experiences,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to climb the shadow. That'd be
but
good.
they actually make a big, like it's all like little rocks because they get sticking out of like a big Colossus,
Yeah, yeah.
and you climb the Colossus. That was the
So
other
that would be a
idea
good one.
I
That would be
had.
a good one.
So I don't know which one would be more fitting, but yeah. So that's PlayStation World. I would absolutely visit it,
Yeah, that's definitely more
and
thought out.
I no, but I would also visit Games Workshop World.
Grim Park, which that is a great name. Grim Park is a
Oh, I
great
thought
name.
Grim Park was only the 40K part. Are you saying that the whole thing could be called Grim Park?
No, the whole thing's called Grim Park, and then you have Middle Earth,
Oh, cool.
um, the old world,
Hmm.
and then Imperium.
Cool. My miniature lands aren't well named. They're just signposted by the PlayStation symbols. I don't know if people would end up just referring to them as the Triangle region, the X
Oh, I
region,
like the
but
idea of a column being region because they always refer to when they're doing releases and stuff like that, or like showcases. It's
mm,
like this time in this region and that region and this region. So I like the idea of using the terminology of region.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
PlayStation.
So obviously, look, there's a lot more you could do with that. With both, you can add to them, expand to them. Um, And if people want to do that, like if you're hardcore fans of these things and you're like, well, actually, I think it'd be really cool. Or if you want to change it, stuff we said, where you're like, no, 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 I think the Ratchet and Clank ride should be this, or I think like maybe it should be more of a Rift Apart thing, and maybe that should be a simulator, and it's like you're going through different portals or whatever. I don't know. Um, Feel free to let us know. Or if you want to go the extra mile and have a bit of fun, feel free to let us know your own pitch for a
Mm.
theme park. What would the theme be? What would be included in it? What would it look like? What kind of rides would you have? That kind of stuff. And obviously, you'd have all the usual restaurants, shops, merch, all that stuff would be included too. This was a bit of a weird one,
This is a
but
weird one. It's a fun one.
I thought it was a bit of fun. Yeah, it's just like a dream pitch thing and something that it is topical given where I will have just been,
Yes, yeah.
but it's not maybe topical in the wider scheme of like what's out at the moment. But you know what? Fuck it. It's a bit of fun. We hope you enjoyed it. We had a bit of crack with it. And we will be back to talk to you guys next time. So if you're watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments, share your thoughts, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. If this is audio platforms, touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on your dream theme park or to give your take on our dream theme parks. Thank you so much for checking out this very weird episode of The Brothers Take. And we will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.